Hello YouTube, Robert here, and got the coffee. If you don't have your coffee already, then you might want to get it, because we're going to kind of dig into some new Ubuntu today. I haven't actually used the new 16.04 LTS release of Ubuntu. Normally I use the server edition of Linux because most of my network is Linux based, my routers and servers and all of that. But today I wanted to take a look at the desktop release. I have a 14.04 desktop machine. It's a virtual machine that I access through VNC, and we're going to try to set that up on 16.04 as well, so you can kind of see how I use VNC to connect to these machines. But anyway, I've already got it downloaded, and I want to install it on a virtual machine. So let's see here. Okay, I have my vSphere client open. So let's go ahead and install a new virtual machine. We'll just do a typical installation. We'll call this Ubuntu 16.04. Okay, we'll use that data store. We're going to pick Linux and Ubuntu 64-bit, and we'll go ahead and put that on my main VM network switch. That way we'll have internet access. 1 NIC is fine. We'll go ahead and do 20 gigs, and we'll do thin provisioning. And we want to edit the settings here. So I'm going to give this, let me give it 4 gigs of RAM, just to make sure it's got plenty of RAM. And we'll do 1 CPU, and we'll do a dual core processor on that. Video card, we're going to go ahead and give it the max amount of video memory, because in order to get a full screen display of the Ubuntu desktop through VNC, we're going to need as much memory there as we can get. Otherwise the resolution will be real small, and we'll just have one display. And then let's see, for the CD, we're going to, I don't think I have that uploaded, so we'll do a client device installation, and we'll have pass-through, and that ought to be good. Let's go ahead and power it on here and see what happens. Let's see, we need to connect to an ISO image here on the local disk. And then, let's see, I've got that under Ubuntu 16.04 desktop, and we want the 64-bit ISO. So then we'll go ahead and restart the machine. See what's going on here. Okay, looks like it's booting. I wonder if I still have the, let me go ahead and do that again, and then we'll probably have to send a Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, now we should get the Ubuntu. There we go. Sorry about that. And let's go ahead and we'll open the console up here. And we're just going to install this real quick on the virtual machine. There's a lot of videos out there on people installing the new Ubuntu, so I won't bore you with all that. The magic of video, I'll fly through this part here real quick. If there's anything that's very different from 14.04, I'll go ahead and edit that into the video, but otherwise I'll catch you back here in just a second when this is through installing. Something I will say, if you want to use Flash and all that kind of stuff on your web browser with the desktop edition, you probably want to do that. So we're going to install third-party software, and then we'll download the updates during installation. Okay, so we're copying files. Got a text. I wanted to do this with y'all so you could watch, because I've never installed the 16.04 like I said, so this is all brand new to me on this version, so you'll get to kind of see any of the ins and outs of any troubles I may run into, or how I kind of set it all up. I don't normally use Ubuntu Desktop for much, just kind of something to play around with in a virtual machine, but I wanted to see how I liked the newer version, and also it'll kind of give me a window into the server platform as well, because a lot of the structure will be the same, just lacking the GUI interface or the desktop environment. So this will be kind of interesting. I'm kind of excited about it. I've read a lot of bad reviews on it. A lot of people do not like it, but I like to judge for myself. So it's just almost done installing here, and what I'm going to do is use VNC. Real VNC is the one that I like to use in order to get basically a remote desktop session. Here you can see I'm at the login prompt, but let's take a look here at Real VNC, and I'll kind of show you. You can go here to RealVNC.com and just go to their download page, and you can pick your client side OS. Mine would be Windows, and then you would download VNC, and then you get a little executable. Looks like this, and then when you run it, it'll ask for the credentials to log into the machine. But there's a few things we need to do first on the desktop machine. Let me log in here before we can actually connect using VNC. And a lot of people ask about that, about how to get a remote desktop session into an Ubuntu desktop machine, and we'll go over that. First, let's open a terminal, and first thing I like to do always is to update. So I'll do a sudo, and from what I understand, apt is the new package manager. apt-get is deprecated now, so we'll just do sudo apt update and a sudo apt upgrade -y. Now I think that's correct. Let's see if it works. Looks like it's going to. I don't like to use the GUI updater. I'm so used to the terminal that I would rather do all that kind of stuff through the terminal. So looks like we're getting the updates. Quite a bit of stuff to update on such a new version. Boy, that's a pretty big progress bar there. May take a minute. Does anybody hear the Jeopardy theme song playing? Da, 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 da. Boy, I do. It's taking forever. Updates are taking forever. Now would be a good time for another cup of coffee. Okay, now that the updates are all installed, we're just going to go ahead and do a reboot, sudo reboot. Okay, so the thing that we need to set up for VNC, we need to look for desktop sharing. There it is. So we'll click on that, and what we want to do is allow users to view your desktop and allow other users to control your desktop. Now you don't want to keep this option selected. You must confirm each access to this machine, because if you do, that means you would have to be on the client side of the machine and a little window would pop up and say so and so wants to connect, will you allow? But if this is a virtual machine, it's running in the background on another machine, then you want to be able to just log directly in. So what we'll do is we'll uncheck that, and then we'll require the user to enter a password. So we can pick a password here. You can use the same login password that you have set for the user account, or you can make a new password, whatever you choose. And then the rest, I like to leave this, only show the notification icon when someone is connected, so you'll see it up here in the top whenever you do connect. And that should be about all we need to configure there. So we'll hit close. Okay, then let's go back to the terminal here, and we'll open that up, and we're going to do a if config, and it looks like our IP address is 204. So let's open up VNC Viewer, and we'll put in our IP, and then I just leave the encryption to let VNC server choose. If you're trying to access this from across the internet using this method, then you'll want to forward your ports. You'll also want to set up encryption to where you can send the connection through a SSH tunnel for security reasons. But this is on my local network, so I just leave it set here, and there's not going to be any encryption. You can take a look at your options, and we're going to scale to window size. We're going to start in full screen mode. Enable the toolbar. It'll be a little thing at the top that'll pop up, and we'll adapt to that. Most everything should be good where it's set. Just click OK and then connect. Okay, unable to connect using your chosen security settings. So what we'll do, okay, so I figured out there was an issue with the encryption, that it was requiring encryption. The VNO process, which is what basically controls the desktop sharing in Ubuntu. So found a workaround for that, and what you can do is you can type this command, gsettings set org.gnome.vno require encryption false, and that will tell the sharing protocol not to require encryption when you're trying to log in. So now that we've got that done, let's try this again, and we'll just tell it to let the VNC server choose the encryption method, and we'll click connect. Okay, it's saying this is an unencrypted connection. We knew it was, so we'll tell it not to warn again, and then hit continue, and there it's asking for our password that we put into the desktop sharing. Click OK, and now we have the desktop. So one thing we want to do here is to change this resolution. Pretty horrifying. So we'll tell it to 1440 by 900. That's the resolution I'm using on this machine. Okay, so we'll keep this configuration. And now, as you can see, we're connected through remote desktop. So let's come up here, and we can actually exit full screen mode. and then we can go ahead and close out our ESXi console session, and then we just have a nice neat full screen display of our Ubuntu session. So this is all a bit new to me. I'm going to take off, I like to take off some of these doodads here because I don't need them. I am going to change my mouse settings a little bit because it's a little stuttery. And then let's go to appearance and see what kind of wallpapers we have. That looks interesting. I really kind of like that one. And then I'll bring down the size of these icons a tad. Okay, so far looks pretty nice. Looks basically just like 14.04, but let's see what else we can do here. By the way, after you enter in this setting to require the encryption set to false, go ahead and reboot your machine after that, and then the settings should take effect, and you'll be okay. So we've already updated everything. Let's go ahead and leave the terminal here, and basically it looks about the same. I'm getting a little bit of stutter here in my pointer, but as you see, I have a little dot here that pretty much is the cursor when accessing through remote desktop, so it seems to be keeping up okay. Let's see if it's, yeah, it seems to work alright. I'm not too used to using that on Ubuntu, but and of course some of this delay could be because I have several recordings going on all at the same time, so that could be an issue. But there you go, pretty much. Let's open the web browser here and take a look. May take it a minute starting the first time. Of course, I did only give this a dual core processor, so that could slow things down a little bit. Let's go to YouTube, see how that looks, because I did tell it to install the third-party software, so it should have Flash and all that stuff on there okay. Looks like that's working good. Let's check out, see what the software center looks like. It's supposed to be different. Looks like it is. Seems to be laid out a little better here. Let's take a look, see what all we've got in here. Lots of good software with Ubuntu. Of course, this would take a lot of playing around with before you figure out whether you like it better or not. There's always going to be bad reviews, but anyway, it looks pretty standard to me. Like I said, I usually use the server edition, and I'll probably do another video on the server, and I'll go ahead and install the server edition of Ubuntu and kind of play around with it, do a little security hardening on it, and who knows, maybe throw up a web server or something, just a WordPress dev or something. We'll see what's going on with that. But anyway, looks pretty clean. I like it, so I'm going to play around with it for a while, and I just kind of wanted to go through the install and setting up the desktop sharing with y'all and kind of show you how I do all that. But I'll play around with it some more and see what I run into, and try to give you a more comprehensive review of 16.04 at a later time. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have any comments on on anything that you've found, any problems or issues or things that you like about the new Ubuntu, then leave me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, leave me a like if you want to, or give me a dislike if you want to. Anyway, I appreciate it, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.